Hey everybody. Don't have the green screen behind me tonight. Didn't figure that I probably needed it for this stream, being as we're going to be watching a movie. So I do have the astronaut light on, but you're probably not going to see much of that till it gets a little bit darker. For those with a sharp eye, you probably noticed that I'm starting a little bit earlier than I normally do on the Saturday watch-alongs. Sorry I didn't announce that earlier, but I checked with Steve. I kind of thought since he did something yesterday evening that he wouldn't do anything tonight, and I was able to confirm that with him that he was not going to do anything tonight. So I hope those of you that like to come to Steve's things are not too disappointed. I'm sure he probably said um, something on my glasses again. It's just driving me nuts. Hold on a second. I'm sure those of you that wear glasses know where I'm coming from with this. If there's a spot or a smear or anything like that on your glasses, it will just drive you absolutely bonkers until you get it off of there. And I kept glancing at the bottom of my glasses and I could see that spot, whatever it was. And I'm also seeing my hair is kind of messy. Hey, Texas. Um, so tonight's movie is Death Ship. And I do have a YouTube link. I put it in the chat. If people come in here later and you need me to put it in there again or give you a timestamp, just ask. I do periodically go back and forth between the chat and the movie that we're watching, just to make sure. I like to see the comments and stuff as we're watching the movie. And also, occasionally, people do ask for a timestamp, or they do ask, can I come on live and join you on the watch along? Which that is the other link that's in the chat. If you want to come in at any point in time, barring not a few seconds before the movie's over or something like that. Gosh, this hair. It's clean and I straightened it, but it is just all over the place. So I know it really doesn't matter, but it also kind of looks like my hat's crooked again. And when you can see yourself on camera, you see every little flaw, every hair that's sticking out and everything. And I've got one side one side I can see the hair out of the corner of my eye and it's driving me crazy. The other side is just like sticking straight out and it's bothering me. And every time I go to put my hat on, it seems like, you ladies that have long hair, you totally know where I'm coming from. And ladies that, your hair has a tendency to frizz, you know where I'm coming from as well. So I guess I'm just going to have to leave it alone because that one sprig of hair is just wanting to stick out. But anyway, I digress. I'm going to go on with this. So I have stopped being such a lazy ass and have started just hooking up my Blu-ray drive to the computer prior to me doing the streams or the watch-alongs, and watching it that way because I have discovered I don't think it was doing this at first, but now I'm fiddling with my hat. I need to just leave shit alone. But I noticed here lately when I switch back and forth from a movie, if I'm watching it online, whether I'm watching it on YouTube or Tubi or whatever, not only do you have commercials with Tubi, but it seems to almost pause the movie when I'm switching back and forth between like YouTube or Tubi and StreamYard. Go figure. I don't know why it's doing that, but it has been causing me to get behind everybody else that's watching the movie. And I thought, well, that's not being a good host. So now I've got it playing through the Blu-ray drive. I've got the disc in for Death Ship now. It's on the menu screen. It's ready to go. And those of you that have your own copy of Death Ship, if you're planning on watching along tonight, that is perfectly fine. You will be starting right at the menu screen like I am. The rest of you, I will let you know when the movie starts. And that way you can know how to adjust it. It's not going to be that much off, I don't think. So again, if anybody wants to join me live at any point in time with or without a webcam, you are welcome to. If you don't own a copy of this movie, I do have the link to a nice HD looking copy from YouTube. There's also the link in here to join me live on the stream. I do have a little bit of watermelon margarita. This is my remaining watermelon margarita drink. And this is Cinco de Mayo weekend, so I'm having me a little margarita. It's the first alcohol I've had this weekend, and the first alcohol I've had at home in quite a while. I mean, occasionally when we go to the Mexican restaurant or go to Texas Roadhouse or something, I'm like, get me a drink. But this is the first I've drank at home, Fireball whiskey or otherwise, in a little while. So I'm having this to celebrate Cinco de Mayo weekend. It is also Derby weekend here in Louisville, Kentucky. And I could be having mint juleps because that's the drink for Derby. But I didn't have any bourbon in the house, and I didn't have any mint leaves, and I don't have any simple syrup, and didn't quite have time to make my own. So, hence, maybe next year for Derby weekend, I will have mint juleps. Word of warning, might have to, there's Reggie in the background. He's coming to say hello, maybe. I may have to get up and get Brandon and bring him into the kitchen because Steve's already went to lay down for the evening. And I don't want him to bother Steve. And if the blood sugar starts feeling low, I meant to have some soup cooked before this live stream started, this watch along started, and I neglected to do that. Time got away from me. So I may possibly, granted, I'll leave the movie running and you guys can keep watching it, without me. If I have somebody else on here with me at that point in time, they can certainly keep you entertained for about 5 minutes or so while I heat some soup up. Okay. So I'm going to be doing at least a couple of things, maybe 3 things during the daily grindhouse. So let's go ahead and kick this off. I'm going to play this lovely intro for the daily grindhouse. So here we go. Okay. Let me let Sammy in so he will quit barking his head off real quick here. Sammy, come on. You're barking your head off. Stop. Okay, get in here. Sit in. I'm not going to be doing that. Go lay down. Sorry, everybody. And also sorry for my white legs. I don't normally go to great lengths to tan, so occasionally when I have my shorts on, you will see these white legs of mine. Okay, so the first thing, I I promised you guys during my paranormal experiences stream that I would sometime in the near future show you my handmade Ouija board, which I couldn't remember what the guy had to actually call it. He couldn't call it a Ouija board because Parker Brothers or whoever owns that name, and they won't allow anybody else to put that on any boards they make. So, what this guy calls his particular boards are spirit geist boards. Okay. Whoops. But here you go. Isn't that just really cool? It was a little dusty. I had to dust it off prior to this, but I just love the way it's made. It's not a real thick board, but I mean, it really looks like those old fashioned boards. You still got the yes and no. You got all the letters, the numbers, the goodbye there. And then on the back are the directions in case you got somebody using the board that is not familiar with how to use a Ouija board. And these are also signed by the guy that makes these. And you can see that this one was made in October of 2018. So I think these are made to order. I don't think that the guy has them like actively sitting around, because what would happen if you made a bunch of these and then weren't able to sell them. This is also the planchette that came with the board, and everybody that's familiar with these knows that the planchette is the part that moves around on the board, and the circle will land on letters, or the yes and no, or it'll go across the goodbye when the spirit is through talking to you. But yeah, so I think October was when I got it. So that's what really leads me to believe that these are made to order type of boards. But some of you that don't feel comfortable using these types of boards would probably not be interested in this, and probably think, "Good Lord, Dana, why are you showing that on camera?" But I'm doing it because I promised that I would do so. And Steve will probably kill me for setting it back on his computer desk. But I'm only doing it temporarily. So, the other thing I wanted to do on this stream is I saw, I know Pizzow and Jeremy did a kind of like a little mini review on the new Mountain Dew a summer freeze flavor. Now, I wanted to get zero sugar because the display actually showed a zero sugar one. Could not find a zero sugar one. So I got a regular one that has a total of 72 grams of sugar in the whole bottle. Now, guys, me being diabetic, it would be foolish for me to sit here and drink the whole damn bottle. So I'm not going to do that. But I am going to do like a taste test. Steve said he heard that they taste like the Rocket Pops. So we're going to see what this tastes like here. And it does pretty much taste like a Rocket Pop. It's very fruity. I'm going to take one more sip. And then I'm not going to drink any more because I don't want to fill my body up with sugar. Okay. So, if you like Rocket Pops, you will probably like this Mountain Dew flavor. Okay. Now, the last thing I wanted to talk about, and I'm really not going to give any spoilers, because I don't know how many of you have seen the new Guardians of the Galaxy movie, and how many you have not, how many of you care about seeing it. I don't know how many Marvel fans we have here that come into my streams, but I was real hesitant about going to see this movie because and I'm not going to tell you if anybody dies or they don't die or whatever. I'm not going to tell you that because that would be a spoiler. But I was hesitant about going to the movies and seeing it because I feared, you know, the the deaths of maybe one or multiple characters, mainly the Guardians of the Galaxy people. Okay, because I had heard this was going to be the last Guardians of the Galaxy movie that Marvel was going to put out. Okay, um, so I, I went into the theater with some trepidation, but although I'm not going to give any spoilers away, I'm not going to tell you if anybody does die, if they don't die, if somebody dies, who dies. Okay, I'm not going to tell any of that. I just would like to say that my trepidation, I mean, I I cried during the movie, and Steve cried during the movie. I hope he doesn't mind me telling you that. So, as Chris Pratt said in an advertisement prior to the movie where him and James Gunn were talking, he says, "Be sure you have tissues ready." And he wasn't lying because Steve and I were both bawling at a certain part in the movie. So, fair warning on that. If you cry easily, you're probably going to cry during this movie. What the movie that we're doing the watch along over is a stinker? Oh, come on, Wes. It's not a stinker. And I'm not saying that because I'm drinking watermelon margaritas either. But and I hope you're not talking about the new Guardians of the Galaxy movie because I love all the Guardians of the Galaxy movies. Um, so much so that I told Steve that if I get another dog in the future, um, I'm going to name it Rocket. I don't care if it's a girl or a boy. By golly, I'm going to name it Rocket. Rocket can be a girl's name. It can be a boy's name. So that was basically the three things that I wanted to cover in this daily grindhouse. I think that's the most things I've covered in one daily grindhouse. So I hope you guys enjoyed that. Um, I won't always have that many things to talk about. Um, Ghost Ship. No, we're not showing Ghost Ship. We're talking Death Ship. Okay, I got you. Um, no, it's not Turd Ship. This movie is great. And this is another movie that I remember very brief things about it because this was another one that I remember my parents allowing me to join them at the drive-in for. So I didn't remember it all because I was pretty young, but I still remember some of it. And I like this movie. Some of it may be a little corny, but as a horror movie, I like it. And I am viewing the Scorpion release tonight of this. Um, so, Wes, are you sure you don't want to join me tonight live on this to talk about how much of a turd this movie is? Because you can if you don't have anything else to do or you're not visiting family or something. Hopefully Uncle Bill will come in here later. I don't know unless he's, feeling bad again, which I hope not. So not going to give this person, I'm not going to name this person. I'm just going to say this really briefly. George Candy is in this and he's in it for more than 5 minutes. Trust me. He's like a big part of this movie and propels the action along. But anyway, that remains to be seen. Back to what I was talking about. This person has evidently they've got an old account and they've got a new account that was created last year. So first they started with their new account, making asinine comments on my videos. And I blocked them, asked YouTube to remove them because they don't have videos. There's no reason for them to be on here if all they're going to do is, I'm not saying you got to make content, but if your sole purpose is just to make asinine comments on other people's videos, um, there's really no reason for you to be here. If you're actively watching and enjoying other people's videos, that's fine. But just to be on here just for the sole purpose of creating a channel so that you can comment on people's videos, I think is just stupid. So when I blocked their new account, they went back to their old account that they've had since '06 and put another comment. And I'm not even going to say what the comment was. I just removed it and blocked the user again, this other user account that they created. And again, I asked YouTube to block them, or remove them from YouTube. I don't think they're going to do it because I guess they don't consider my claims valid enough to get rid of this person. Yes, it is, Wes. I'm not mentioning names because I'm not going to give them any more credit and attention than they need. Just to say that I have blocked them once again, but that doesn't mean the person can't create 10 or 15 more accounts and just keep doing it. I just wish they'd get a life and go create content yourself and just stop making asinine comments on people's stuff. And that's all I'm going to say. And that's all I got to say about it, as Forrest Gump would say. Oh, there's a pay-per-view tonight. Yes, that person is nuts. Yes, I don't know what their deal is. I don't know if they're jealous of other people making content. I'm sorry, content. I mean, a lot of people have told me just delete it and forget it. Don't give them any more attention. But it just irritates me because I'm a nobody. All I'm on here is just trying to have a good time and make content that hopefully some people will enjoy. That's all I'm on here for. I'm not on here for any other reason. And for this person to repeatedly talk about my appearance or to act like nobody likes my channel, because that's what the person did this last time. They made this is I'm just going to say what the comment was. I wasn't going to, but I will, just to show you how asinine it is. They commented under one of my, I think it was my paranormal experiences video. They said, I'm going to comment on your video since no one else seems to want to, or something to that effect. Like, okay. And I care about this how much, other than you're an annoyance? You're an annoying asshole? Yeah, that's all I care about. But anyway, onward and upward. Hey, Darren. And like I said, if that person comes in here in the chats, and this is the last thing I'm going to say about it. If that person comes in here in the chats, I have several people that are mods. They can kick their ass out of here. So, anyway, back to what I was talking about. So, also to let you guys know what's upcoming as far as watch alongs, tomorrow night or tomorrow evening, starting at 6 p.m. Eastern Time, graduation day. So, you guys can look forward to that tomorrow evening. May 13th is the Prowler. Followed on May 14th with the Tom Hanks vehicle bachelor party. So we got all those coming up. May 20th is Eyes of a Stranger. May 27th, Happy Birthday to Me. And I believe, well, I think June, yeah, I said June 3rd was going to be Killer Workout, and June 4th will be Death Ball. And I think after that, June 10th, I think June 10th, since that's after my birthday, I think we will, or I will do uh, Bloody Birthday, just uh, to celebrate. Followed by June 11th, which is a Sunday, Nightmare on Elm Street 2. So there we go. So that's what we got coming up. Plus, I don't know about Monday or Tuesday or Thursday of next week. Hopefully, I can come up with something to entertain you guys. Um, but Wednesday, barring anything happening, TJ and I will be doing another installment of the Monsters episode discussion. We will be talking about the first part of season 2. So, Darren, I will say, I need to start really watching or listening to those shows that you and Dirk are doing. They sound really, really interesting. It's just things have been so crazy, with work and all that stuff that I find little time sometimes to be able to in, enjoy or partake of things that I really would enjoy, because usually I'm so wiped out. Feeling a little bit better today. Um, I don't have my energy drink out, which I probably will get up and get that here in just a bit. So, is there anybody that's currently in here that wants to come in live on the stream with me? Like I said, if you don't have a copy of Death Ship, I do have the link in the chat for the YouTube HD. It appears to be pretty good HD copy. And also, I didn't ask how many of you were actually watching it tonight. In case you need me to put that link back in the chat. Oh, excuse me. And I can also put the link to the invite to join me live on the stream. But if anybody comes in here later, barring it's almost the end of the movie, then I will be glad to add you so you can talk about this lovely movie with me, even though Wes says it's a turd. So I think we'll go ahead here and get started here in about another minute or two. Give everybody that wants to come in here a chance to get in here before we start, and then we'll go ahead and get started. But if there's people that aren't queued up yet or something like that, just let me know. Hey, Dana, I need another minute or so. Otherwise, I think, well, we just start at 6:35. That'll give everybody a couple of minutes to go ahead and get queued up if they want to watch along with the movie tonight. But well, thank you, Darren, for understanding. You say no worries, Dana. I know you've been busy. Yeah, and they're really putting the heat on us at work about People aren't taking priority one tickets. People aren't doing this. People aren't doing that. They aren't working on their tickets. They ain't taking enough phone calls. It's like, geez Louise, people, come on. Pick something that we can actually focus on. Don't make us focus on 50 different damn things at one time. That's what where the problem lies. I guarantee it. You get stuck on that stupid talk desk on the phones, and they say, oh, stay on the talk desk for 30 minutes and then go work your tickets. The thing is, you get on that talk desk, you're lucky if you can get off of it, because the calls just one right after the other keep coming in, and you might be on it all day and not even get to look at your tickets, because people keep you on the phone with x-ray problems and this and that and the other. So anyway, that's kind of beside the point. So I think I hear one of the dogs at the back door, so let me step away. Just 1 second here. Hey. And guys, I'm also, I will be right back, and we'll probably be ready to get started then. But I'm going to go check on things back here, make sure all the dogs are in, all that good stuff. All righty. So it is now 6:36 actually. So we're going to go ahead and get this party started, I think, while we still got 6 people in here. Oh, crud. Well, this thing decided it was going to. Okay. I think I'm going to have to fast forward past Katrina Waters, even though I like her, but that's going to cut into movie time. So, all right. Well, maybe. All right. Well, I'll tell you what. We'll just since I'm having a hard time getting that back to maybe this will help. Yeah, okay. All right. So I think I got it on the right thing. I'm about 9 seconds in. We're seeing the ocean here. I didn't know this was going to be one of those jobbies that after it sits on the menu screen for so long, it goes ahead and starts the movie. So I got it to the start of the movie. So if you guys are using the Scorpion releasing Blu-ray to watch this, if any of you guys are using that, if you'll just get to the movie part instead of Katrina Waters talking at the beginning of it. She's really, really cool, but I don't think we need that specifically tonight. So I've got mine ready to go. So let's do the countdown. So everybody ready? 3, 2, 1, press play. So we're seeing a lot of the ocean. We're seeing Sandy Howard and Harold Greenberg present. And there's George Kennedy's name there. And also Richard Crenna. Nick Mancuso is on this as well. And Sally Ann Howe in Death Ship. So I've kind of shrunk this up a little bit so that I can watch this at the same time and keep an eye on the chat as well. See, this actually, I don't know why I didn't think about this before. Actually, I think this works better when I'm doing like a live stream if I just do that. I mean, I can kind of understand why some people like, Wes and others would refer to this as a stinker. But I've always, really, really enjoyed this movie. I mean, it's a lot better than that freaking ghost ship movie, in my opinion, that came out much later than this. This was 1980. It's funny how your mind will remember things or recall things because for some odd reason, for years after when I was young and remembered seeing parts of this at the drive-in when my parents took me with them, for some reason there is George Kennedy. I thought that some of the people from the Love Boat were on here. I don't know why. I have no idea why. So George Kennedy plays a really grumpy guy who's kind of being. He's a captain of these cruise ships, and he is being forced out or forced into retirement. And then Richard Crenna's character right there is going to take over. And needless to say, George Kennedy's character of this captain, the current captain, is very bitter over this. He is very unhappy. He does not want anybody taking the helm on his ship. I tell you, I wouldn't want to work under this guy. So it's almost, I guess they're having like a masquerade ball on the ship because a lot of people, well, almost everybody is dressed up, even these kids. Now that is Nick Mancuso in that really weird mask there. And as many of you know, Nick Mancuso does have a horror history because he was the voice of Billy in Black Christmas. And those of you that got that season's greetings edition of Black Christmas, you will see a cool interview with Nick Mancuso. And also, he does an entire commentary for Black Christmas as Billy, which is also very bizarre, but very cool as well. So I don't know how sexy you guys consider this the chick that's dressed like a belly dancer, but I was gonna say maybe Wes would like this movie better after watching it during a watch along. Um, but he's probably pretty much focusing on the pay per view by now. So he can really tell that George Kennedy he does not uh, like mixing it up with either other employees on the ship, and he definitely doesn't like mixing it up with people that are on the cruise ship. Um, he just basically wants to run his ship the way he sees fit and have everybody else leave him alone. But George Kennedy is an excellent actor because I've seen George Kennedy play this character. I've also seen him play more comedic characters and also, decent characters. This character is a bit of an asshole here. Not Nick Mancuso, but here's a little, action for you. This is very, very young Nick Mancuso here. He doesn't quite look like this anymore. I mean, he doesn't look bad. I'm just saying he's quite a bit older. I'm thinking, many years later when I actually wanted to watch this movie again, I think that I was able to obtain a VHS. I think a VHS is what I have for a long, long time. And the little boy asks if he can have the captain's cake. And of course, the mother gets on him, but um, the captain begrudgingly pushes it over. But then he makes some kind of comment like, "Shouldn't you be in bed?" or something like that, or "Isn't it bedtime?" So the parents, shuffle him off to bed. And, and the little boy tells him he's sorry, and he like begrudgingly again tries to be nice to him. You can tell it's taken everything he has to be nice. I mean, and I actually, still yet, even though I'm an adult now, um, consider some parts of this movie to be creepy. I mean, I don't think I'm giving away any huge like spoiler or anything by saying that the death ship will actually turn out to be, and this is that other ship, the very dark, ominous ship that we keep seeing, um, is a Nazi interrogation ship. Okay, um, that basically is haunted by Nazis. And so, anytime you mention anything to do with Nazis or the Nazi party, you show swastikas or any of that uh, Nazi paraphernalia. I hate to call it paraphernalia, but, um, it, tends to give a lot of people cold chills. And I'm talking from a historical standpoint. We know that the Nazis were not good people. Hitler was not a good person. Okay. So we're going to, very soon we're going to see this ship and see the inside of it. Um, and here's a really big example of the captain not wanting to associate with people that are riding on these cruise ships. He abhors them. He does not like them. Well, actually, this girl is attractive, and I like the way her makeup is. This is a woman talking here. I like the way her makeup is because it's not too heavy. I think it's just the right amount, which really does nothing, to in talking about this movie. But I was just noticing it's been a little while since I watched this. Um, it just struck me that, oh yeah, the eye makeup and all that is really pretty. So they're just about to get hit. The cruise ship's just about to get hit by the death ship, the Nazi interrogation ship. And it wasn't just a little love tap there. I mean, it's destroying this ship. So you probably almost feel like you're watching, a movie about the Titanic there, just a little bit. So now we have a few survivors, including Richard Crenna and his wife and their two children. And the belly dancer girl and Nick Mancuso, the comedian that was up on stage earlier. Oh, I didn't for some reason I didn't remember that before, those dead bodies floating in the water around them like that. Yeah, TJ. You say, they should have just waited for the Poseidon to come up to rescue them. LOL. Exactly. Yeah, maybe then they wouldn't have gotten on the death ship. Now you didn't see George Kennedy, and you kind of, if this was your first time watching it, you would assume that he perished along with most of the other people. But we're going to find out that no, he didn't. Man, he looks a little worse for wear there. Yeah, right, TJ. Only two kids on the entire boat, and they just happen to be the main character, the main couple's kids. Yeah, actually, I didn't see any other kids. I mean, I guess they figured it wouldn't go over very well if they had, showed some kids perishing, and they only wanted these two kids. Okay, so here is the death ship. Here's the Nazi interrogation ship, and they're like, "Oh wow, this big old, hulk of a rusting ship showed up. So yeah, we must, let's not wait for the Coast Guard or anything. Let's just get on this damn ship." So you see little things like that, like one of the windows opening on the ship, but you don't actually see anybody. Something should tell those people that this is not, I know there wouldn't be a movie if they didn't get on the ship, but something should tell them that an all black ship that looks like it's been floating out there for, I guess, since the Nazis, um, wouldn't be a good ship to get on. So I guess they assume that somebody, a human somebody is on the boat and has dropped these stairs down there so that they can board the boat. You would think that, wouldn't you? I like these point of view shots of the Nazi ghosts. Um, I don't know. I just find shots like that cool and kind of creepy. And I really wouldn't call this movie a slasher film either. It's definitely a horror film, but I wouldn't call it a slasher. And this kid's got to go pee really bad. And you're going to see when his sister gets up there to go, check on him, he's like basically he's peeing in the I think he's peeing on the boat. I don't think he's like peeing off of the boat or anything. No. Well, maybe he is, but he's like basically standing behind something going to the bathroom. I was just thinking about this. The belly dancer girl. Um, I wonder, because she was having sex with Nick Mancuso's character before the boat rammed them, the dish ship rammed them, and it looked like she was naked, and they were just relaxing in bed, and so I'm wondering if she got on that little makeshift lifeboat they had, if she was naked, and I don't know. I wonder about strange things sometimes. Texas, you say I'm 20 minutes 57 seconds in. So now all of a sudden the steps fail. So she's going to be resourceful and put some wooden steps for them to climb up. There you go, TJ. I need to have you on here to sing that. I'm afraid if I sing it, everybody that's in here would leave. So now you got a bunch of, I guess, oil, grease, something coming out. Why, TJ? You would sing better than I do. I was like, how many things are going to start squirting out of this damn boat? That's nasty. Let's hope there ain't some kind of sewage or something, because that, ugh. Exactly. I think you may be just a little bit ahead of me. So did Sal Rubinek just get dispatched, Texas? Because I'm seeing where Nick Mancuso is like it's flashing to something that's going to happen later. Um, TJ, really, you need to be on here like being the entertainment portion because, man, you're a lot more entertaining than I am. So I'm seeing Sal Rubinek walking around. Now, there we go. So, like I said, I think you might be just a little bit ahead of me, Texas, which is okay. I'm 24 minutes, 36 seconds in. And they're jumping, trying to get good old Sal before he swings out too far. This ship must not like entertainers. Yeah, now I'm seeing him get dunked underwater. Man, that would be a bad way to die. With your head underwater and then you couldn't. So now it's lifting him back up. Man, Richard Crenna's not trying very hard to get good old Sal there. Oh man, that's raising him up way too high. That's right, TJ. Dude didn't even try to get his foot free. Oh man. Oh. Well, you know how they say if you like fall from a great height in the water, sometimes it's like hitting a board, but this guy's still alive here. Something tells me he's not going to be for very much longer. Uh, well, Wes, if that's still you, I'm ready anytime you guys are. You just got to let me know the day and the time. Either that ship's on autopilot or there's a ghostly entity, a ghostly Nazi that's operating it. Yeah, exactly, TJ. Like the outside of the ship looks very old and rusty, and you do have some cobwebs and crap in here. But yeah, you're right. The hydraulics do look just a little too clean for what would be probably a 40 something year old ship at this point in time. But I must say, looking at this again on the Scorpion releasing Blu-ray, it looks pretty damn good. That's right. Uh, Something should tell them something's not right about this ship. I mean, they went real heavy on the cobwebs in this ship. So if you have your sound going at all, you will start to notice that George Kennedy's character of the captain is hearing voices talking to him, um, sometimes they're talking, or pretty much probably all the times they're talking to him either in a German voice or in German. And Nick Mancuso just got hit in the back of the head. Man, that would give you one hell of a headache there, guys. Yeah, TJ, exactly. Where's Frank Drebin when you need him? So this old lady, she knows something's up with this ship. But of course nobody listens. Nobody listens to old people, do they? Oh, I cannot stand all these damn cobwebs. Because where there's cobwebs, there's usually spiders. Yeah, that I hate. Don't you guys hate when there's a cobweb that you can't see, like outside or something? When I was a kid, I used to walk through a ton of them, and it's just ugh, you know. They got those pinup pictures all over the place in here. Really? Well, I mean, maybe somebody else will want to put it out on 4K, Wes. I mean, won't Don May give up the rights to prom night? If it, I mean, why would he want to hold on to the rights if the Blu-ray didn't even sell very well? Let somebody else put it out on 4K. I mean, I'm not saying anything about Don May. I'm just saying, I don't care who puts it out. I would just like to see a 4K eventually. Yeah, TJ, that's a good question. Maybe Second Sight can do it. I mean, I can't see Don May's company wanting to hold on to the rights of something that's so poorly on Blu-ray. Yeah, God, that kid's gonna drink that water like that. And his mom's like, "No, we gotta boil it first." Well, if he doesn't have the rights to it, he ain't gonna be putting nothing out for it. I would imagine. Well, I mean, that's his prerogative. He can do anything he wants. I mean, I realize those companies need to make money, and if something's not making money for them, yeah, they're not going to keep releasing it in different formats. Well, my thinking though is, I hate to keep going on about this, but my thinking is, for every company that won't put out a 4K of something, there are five or more other companies that will. So, give it enough time. Most movies, if not all movies, we're going to get a 4K of if it's possible, if they've got a good enough negative or whatever to make a 4K of it. It sounds like people are hinting that Prom Night's not a good movie, not a good horror movie, but I beg to differ with them on that. Um, it's hot back here tonight. Well, plus, I was drinking a little watermelon margarita, so that might not have helped. Um, so they're still exploring this creepy old ship. Maybe that's why Wes refers to it as a turd ship. Maybe he thinks it just doesn't move along fast enough. I'm thinking this old woman's in love with George Kennedy's character, just the way she acts. Oh man, Nick Mancuso's still knocked out. Guys, I'm going to step away for just a few minutes. You guys go ahead and enjoy the movie. I'll be back as soon as I can. I'm going to get my energy drink and probably heat me up a little soup and run to the restroom. I'll be right back. Okay. Oh yeah. I was hoping that I didn't miss the this candy scene because this is great. Uh, TJ, you say, are these people ever going to draw off? Now I changed my mind, and instead of getting soup, I decided I would just get a partake of Kentucky Fried Chicken. And by the way, if you get Kentucky Fried Chicken to go, evidently now they give you these. If you request them, they give you these little paper trays and little, wax paper to put your stuff in. And evidently that's probably how they serve it in the restaurant. But I haven't ate inside of a KFC in a while. But you're right, DJ. You say bitch eating 40-year-old candy. Sheesh. Yeah, and this is going to turn out very bad for her shortly. So the little boy is telling her, "Oh, you got to come watch this movie." DJ, you say, "How is KFC in actual Kentucky?" LOL, it's got to be amazing. I think it's probably the same everywhere, to be honest. Hey, Amy. Sorry I missed your message. Yes, I do remember you, Amy. Not as well as I would like to, but I do remember the name clearly. I'm glad you stopped in. I think I just added you on Facebook. Um, so I'm glad you stopped in. Oh, and here's why you don't eat 40-year-old candy, right, guys? Especially on a Nazi interrogation ship, because you'll turn out like this woman. And when I was a kid, this is one of the scenes I clearly remember from the drive-in, and it was. I mean, it was scary to me as a little kid. Oh, it's good to although I can't see you, you're not on camera, but it's good to hear from you again. So he's strangling this woman, but he's seeing us, I guess like a Nazi sailor, or maybe he's thinking about one of his crew members on his original ship. Evidently, none of those people lived. But yeah, I really see what TJ's talking about here. Are they going to dry off? Her hair's been like wet for freaking ever. So George Candy is all of a sudden looking amazingly better now. And he dispatched that poor old woman. So, unfortunately, since that woman died on the ship, they're going to have to do a burial at sea. Um, exactly, TJ. All good ship captains can read Bibles in any language. LOL. Um, Dear, no, that's okay. You say sorry off topic, but have you ever thought about doing the Seduction Poison podcast again? I have, Darren, but my lovely co-host on that, Jenny, I would love to have her back because to me, she was part of, a very special part of that podcast. Um, that made it, infinitely better. I think, I know y'all couldn't see Jenny, but I know those of you that see her on Facebook know that she's a very attractive young woman. And her personality, I think, you know, in addition to her being absolutely beautiful, in my opinion, her personality was such that it was so bubbly and welcoming. I think she made the show. I know that I was the creator of the show and all that, but without her, man, you'd be stuck with me. It'd be like these damn live streams. And also, I like to have somebody else on there that's really into the movies and all that stuff, just like Jenny was. Um, that I can bounce things off of. Jenny's still around, but she's a very busy woman. She got married to Vaughn. She's got 3 kids now, 2 kids of her and Vaughn had together, and one boy that she had from a previous marriage. So I think that a job and being a mother to 3 kids, I think that takes up a lot of her time. And we've tried several times to be able to find a time to get together and do the Seductive Poison podcast again. Just hadn't worked out. Hey, Blissful. Yes, Kelly would be an excellent choice. And I would love to do that with her. I mean, maybe we could do it on these live streams, and you would get, you get a live stream plus a podcast element. If Kelly would want to do it, and perhaps I can talk to her about that and see if she'd be interested. And then, if in such time Jenny's time would allow her to be on there, all 3 of us could be on there. I mean, that would be awesome. But that is a very good idea, Darren. So now George Gandy's wearing all black now. He's going to be the new captain. He's saying that this is his ship now. And Richard Crenna has no idea what the hell he's talking about. Guys, I promise I'll be through eating here in a little bit. So evidently there are nefarious things at work here because Richard Crenna cannot move that wheel. But if you'll see here, George Candy is soon going to be able to effortlessly. So yeah, I can move the wheel, so it must be my ship, right? Exactly, TJ. Say, mom had her kids at an advanced age. Richard Crenna ain't that young either. Steve said something to that effect when we were watching offerings that time and doing that commentary. He said, everybody in this town must have, or this neighborhood must have had kids at like 40 or something. Leslie, you said reading earlier, chat and cracking up. Yeah, I mean, there was some pretty funny stuff earlier, especially with Wes calling this turd ship. TJ, you say, like May Parker in the comics was the oldest aunt ever. Yes, she was. Good old Aunt May. George Kennedy is literally asleep at the wheel, and he's having flashes of some things that are going to come up here shortly. Now, if I had any beef with this movie, it would be that they do that because they're actually showing scenes that would be, in my opinion, more dramatic if you did not anticipate them coming, if they just happen. TJ, you say is an Irwin Allen ripoff. This could have been worse. Just slow. Yeah, I was thinking that might be part of the reason why West was saying that it wasn't a very good movie. But so you say, TJ, age jokes. I'm going to hit you with my walker. So here, I get a question. Why are the adults letting these kids just walk around by themselves? You know, go Nazi ghosts aside, there's plenty of stuff on this ship that could injure them. And damn, I guess they should be asleep, right? The parents are asleep. Oh, I think Ben, the little boy, had to go to the bathroom again. This kid, I'd be checking him for a kidney infection or something, bladder infection. Jesus. So, okay. This is another scene that when I was a kid, it creeped me out. But this is a scene that's been done on more than one occasion in various forms, too. Oh, well, thank you, Amy. Yeah, it was really hard on all of us, and it was hard on me because that was my last remaining grandparent, and yeah, I took it hard, needless to say, and I know you did, Amy, and bless your heart for that, for saying that you loved her very much. Uh, but you stay as long as you want. You don't have to go if you're not ready. TJ, you say never mix your dirty and clean hydraulics in your movie for continuity's sake. Liz, what you say? TJ, if you want a good live, you should have watched the pre concert live I was on. Rock guys can't handle tech. So all of a sudden, she can't get out of the shower. Well, thank you, Amy. I appreciate that. Yes, and stay as long as you like. Oh God! And here comes the blood out of the shower head. I mean, I agree that there are some very slow parts in this movie, but when you get payoffs like this, I just think it's worth it. Bliss, what you say? You saw a nostril close up. And there's no making that chick look sexy with the blood all over. So you really, in my opinion, can't say that the director or whoever was trying to titillate the audience with this. Um, because no matter how good the woman would look, how good of a body she has, when it's all covered in blood like that and she's freaking out, no. I mean, and I mean, although it doesn't linger on the scene for long periods of time, it does keep flashing to it, and you hear the voices talking in German. You've got Nick Mancuso running for help. Um, Texas, I think I have seen Straight Jacket, but God, it's been so long. I didn't even realize that George Candy was in that. Uh, TJ said, "Don't knock my blood and girl fetish." Haha. TJ, he said, "When your movie is really slow, add slow motion." Ugh, LOL. I think that's a pretty cool shot of the girl running and the doors closing behind her. So George Kennedy's got hold of the two kiddos, and Nick Mancuso's still trying to find help. Richard Crenna's looking for his kids. Right, right, TJ. If Texas Chainsaw was on a boat, Texas, you say, Dana, I did see this part of the movie one night on Shutter, I think, while waiting for Joe Bob to come on one night. Well, that's a great introduction to this movie. So I can't tell really at this point in time. I mean, that obviously looks like a mannequin at some points, but I can't tell if she's because I can't remember if she screams when he throws her overboard or not. She may. Um, I couldn't tell if she was already dead before he did that or not. We got about 23 minutes left of the movie, and some of you are probably thinking, oh God, isn't it over yet? TJ, you said that scene kind of reminds me of Bloody New Year just because it's so crazy. It makes weird sense. So, for those of you sensitive to Nazi, like I said, paraphernalia type of stuff, yeah, you might want to turn away from this because this is hard. I mean, I just feel like this scene is very hard to watch because I think now they're realizing exactly what kind of ship this is. I mean, damn, they've even got a oil painting or whatever of Hitler. So now they're really finding, this is where they basically tortured people, probably did medical experiments on them and all of that. And you can see where they pulled people's gold teeth out. I'm sure without uh, anything to numb them. And, jewelry and watches and all of that. And then they find, skeletons of people that had been tortured. There's barrels with skulls and stuff in them. And see somebody there that was, I guess, repeatedly dipped in water in the same way that Sal Rubinek's character was done earlier on. And some of you might think that this is coming up, not this film, but what they're trying to turn it off, and Nick Mancuso's character is like, they're trying to make it go away, and like he's tearing the screen down, and Hitler's still being projected on the wall, and it looks like the image is on him and it won't stop. He's doing everything to this damn projector and it won't stop. But I was going to say, some of you might think this is a little cheesy and over the top, but when you think in terms of what the Nazis did to people, um, torturing and killing God knows how many people, um, this just seems to make perfect sense to me within the movie. And this always seemed like a very nerve jangling scene to me. So we also saw a flash to what's going to happen to Nick Mancuso. I can't even talk. Nick Mancuso here earlier on, which again is the only beef I really have with this movie, is that some of the best, I guess, you call it kill scenes or action scenes, were kind of spoiled before the movie actually got to them. You're way ahead, TJ. Well, I thought maybe you might have been ahead earlier whenever you said something about slow motion, and I hadn't even gotten to the slow motion yet. I'm an hour 14 minutes right now, but that's okay, TJ. I think that sometimes happens that we all, get out of sync. So basically, he just crushed Nick Mancuso's character in there with all the other corpses. So, in case anybody is wondering where I'm at, you can see Richard Crenna sitting on the floor trying to block out George Kennedy talking to him and saying, this very bizarre stuff. So it looks like he stabbed George Kennedy there about 3 times. So Richard Crenna is getting his wife and his kids, and they're getting the hell out of Dodge here, or they're going to try. So I remember this scene being kind of creepy too, where I'm guessing either that is people they took aboard and tortured them or something, and then they just hung them in the freezer. It's either that or it's people that just killed themselves. I suspect it's probably the earlier thing that I said. It could be people from different time periods that they picked up, just like crashing into this cruise ship and, taking some of these people um, hostage on this ship, basically, and then torturing and killing them. So they're getting some life jackets on the kid. She's going to put a life jacket on. So he's kind of forcing the ship to pull, or drop its anchor, rather. So looky there, George Kennedy's character is still not dead. He's trying to kill Richard Crenna and his family. And I'm sure that this movie, was a drive-in staple there for in the early 80s there for a little bit. And excuse me, in my opinion, this was probably one of the perfect vehicles for a drive-in. And by vehicle I don't mean car. I mean the cinematic vehicle for a drive-in. And maybe that's why some people think that another reason why some people think that this movie's not a good movie, because watching it at home is a whole different experience than watching it at a drive-in, I'm sure. So even though this is kind of cringy, even though the kids have life jackets on, because what if for some reason the life jacket didn't work properly? So now George Kennedy's got Sally Ann Ho there, or Sally Ann Howe, however you pronounce it. And the kids are on the raft. He's determined to keep her on the damn boat. Come on, Richard Crenna. Let's get up now. So, good thing he found his wife. Hey, 1980s Betamax. So they're jumping in the water. They're going to try to get to the raft where their kids are at. And George Kennedy is still, he's all crazed because they're getting away, damn it. So the ship's basically used George Kennedy for all it needs him for. So no longer can he operate this ship. The ship's like, we're done with you. Or the ghosts on there, they say, we're done with you, buddy. And he's still carrying on that he's the damn captain. So he's just going to shoot up the place. Listen, said, I got to put this up here. He said, this is reaffirming my decision to never to take a Disney cruise. Me too, 1980s Betamax. I'm getting Creepshow 4K next month as well. Oh boy. Sort of reminds me of the scene in the Fun House. Well, there went George Kennedy's arm, or his character's arm, though. He is a great actor, I agree. And they're getting away from the death ship. Exactly, TJ. You say, yeah, even in this movie, he is. Which, again, I like this movie myself, but, See, I think that's the damn Coast Guard coming to get them. See, if they had waited for them earlier, of course, yet again, there would be no movie. Uh, 1980s Betamax, you say, I remember George Kennedy. He played a performance on Dallas TV show. Yeah, I'm sure George Kennedy was in a lot of the older television shows. Yep, that is the Coast Guard. Now, if this had been a Jaws movie, when that damn helicopter got closer, Jaws would have come up out of the water and ate all the people on the helicopter. So evidently the family got rescued, but the dead ship is still out there and it looks like it's looking for more prey. And, there could have been a death ship too, but alas, no. So evidently the death ship has got its eyes on its, or its hole or whatever, uh, set on this other ship. And it's going to do the same thing to that ship that it did to the cruise ship earlier. Texas, you said Creature Features showed some movie a few weeks back with Doug McClure where there was some succubus or something on a helicopter with him. Oh, cool. Yeah, right, TJ. Death Ship 2, more death. Yeah, in my opinion, most inferior film to Death Ship. Um, so, guys, we have officially reached the end of Death Ship. So, for those of you that had never seen this before or not seen it all before, what did you think? Did you think it was a turd, like Wes said earlier? Or did you like it okay? Or, I just am curious what, everybody else thought of this movie. I've liked this movie for a long time, hence why I picked it for one of the watch alongs. Oh, goodness. So sorry. I'm drinking the energy drink too. So I'm just letting the credits run out. Um, I think I am going to take my hat off for a while. I know the hat is part of who I am on YouTube, but I'm getting so hot. You can see how flushed I am. TJ, you say surprise Mystery Science Theater or Riff Tracks never got a hold of that I know of. Yeah, I don't think they did. I'd probably have to ask Steve to be 100% sure though. So this was a Canadian and UK co-production, in case anybody was curious. Oh wow, Blissful. You say TJ, I've been on a Mystery Science Theater shorts kick. I love those shorts. Aren't they wild? 1980s Betamax, you say, will you ever do a review show on Blood Beach? I don't know 1980s Betamax. I don't think I've ever watched all of Blood Beach. Um, but now on my Blu-ray, there's a conversation with Richard Crenna, and George Kennedy. So it is raining like you wouldn't believe, guys. I heard something and I was like, what is that? I'm going to actually step away to see how hard it's raining out there. I knew it was going to rain. I am going to shut that door though. I don't know if y'all can hear that or not, but I can really hear this in the back room. I think I've seen the Uncle Jim's Dairy Farm one. That that's. Have you seen the ones with? I think it's Norman. They had several shorts with Norman in them. TJ, you say blissful, yes. Mr. B Natural, home economics, hired junior rodeo, fun stuff. Um, TJ, you say also love any riff tracks with Mary Jo and Bridget Nelson. So is Bridget Nelson, is that Mike Nelson's wife? That's what I was thinking. Or is Mary Jo as well? I don't know. um, okay. Well, I'm gonna turn this off there. Um, so I can probably stay on here a few more minutes. I probably won't stay on too awfully long because a few more things I got to get done before I settle down completely for the night. But I want to thank all you guys for being in here tonight. We had a pretty good crowd in here. You know, we had about 10 people around at all points and times. I mean, we kind of slipped below the 10 mark a few times, but it's been pretty steady, anywhere from like 8 to 10 people in here at all times. So for me, that's a crowd for me. So um, I do want to remind everybody again that coming up tomorrow, starting at 6 p.m. Eastern Time, the watch along, the bonus watch along will be graduation day. So I do have a link for it as well. There is already promotion up for it. And of course, I will post the link to the movie in the chat. I, again, will probably be using my copy of the Blu ray that I believe Steve got for me. And Yes, Brigitte Nielsen was once married to Sylvester Stallone. Uh, so anybody that wants to join me for graduation day tomorrow evening, you are welcome to. Or everybody can just hang out in the chat if they want to. Yes, graduation day is great, Texas. I agree. Um, TJ, you say Blood Beach is cool, kind of falls apart when you see the actual creature. Yeah, I really, I could probably do a short review on it. Probably won't do a whole show on it, but I could probably talk about it during the Daily Grindhouse or something. I know I've got a copy of that movie somewhere. Right, Blissful. They were the hair power couple. Um, I'll probably stay on here a couple more minutes till 8:15, and then I will get off here. So if there's anything anybody wants to bring up or suggest to me, for future watch alongs, future streams, I will be glad to listen to any and all comments. Um, ways that you think I could make things better. Um, what time tomorrow for graduation day, TJ? Yes, 1980s Betamax Vanna White. Exactly. And Linnea Quigley, by the way. So that'll be 6 p.m. Eastern time, TJ, will be the time for that. And Texas, so I'll ask you I said I was going to send you a chat message about it, or a Facebook message about it, but we might as well talk about it on here. We're not hiding anything from anybody because we've already talked about doing these shows. So, do you have? I thought we'd just start with John Waters, um, but I'm probably going to have to. Did you just want to kind of do a retrospective, Texas? Like do a retrospective on John Waters, do one on William Castle, um, and so on and so forth, because I thought we'd just start with John Waters, but I'm going to have to catch up on some of his movies, so it definitely is not going to be like next week because I've got to watch some things. But if you want to kick the first one of our live streams off with John Waters, I'll be more than happy to start watching his films, so I can refresh myself on all of them, so I don't sound like I'm talking out of the side of my mouth about them. So you say yes, sure. So I guess I'm sure you'll have to refresh yourself too on the movies. So um, how would you say a couple of weeks would give you enough time to watch all those Texas, or would you want more time than that? Yes, exactly, TJ. A text prospective. Yeah, I'm sure again Texas will be more entertaining than me. Um, but I heard some noise in there. It's probably Brandon. Um, so sorry again for taking my hat off later in this. I mean, I know they're my streams. I can do what I want. Usually I keep the hat on, but I was just getting so warm that I finally just had to take it off. So, Texas, you can drop me you don't have to give me all the details now. You can drop me a Facebook message to let me know, hey, Dana, it'll take me 2 weeks, or it might take me a week or 3 weeks or whatever to get them watched. I am very flexible. And, I know people have different schedules and all that. Texas, you say that's fine. I think that will work since we'll only do a few at a time. Right. So, how many do you want to do at one time? Like just to start? Do you want to do 5 movies or less than 5, or you can think on it and send me a Facebook message if you want to. Um, Maybe 3. Okay, sounds cool. That sounds cool to me. That sounds like a good number. So, um, we'll just do them in order then, like start from the first one and we'll watch those first 3, and then just go from there. So that is okay, Texas. I would rather have somebody else on here like doing some of the talking so everybody doesn't have to listen to my dumb ass all the time. So that is perfectly fine. So you just let me know when you're caught up on the first 3, and I will try my best to get in gear and watch these first 3, so that we will all, will be ready to go. And then once we know we're ready and we've got our notes, if we've got notes and all that, then we will schedule a day that works for both of us. Texas, you say, yeah, and I'll mention his shorts that he did before he started doing his major ones. Yeah, that'll be cool. That will be cool. Exactly, TJ. You say, get your pencil thin mustaches ready for the John Water stream with Dana in Texas. Exactly. Uh, so, with all that being said, again, I want to thank everybody for coming into the stream tonight for the watch along, the Death Ship watch along. And I hope everybody joins me for the graduation day watch along tomorrow night starting at 6 p.m. Eastern Time. And with all that being said, I'm going to skedaddle on out of here for the night, and I will see everyone on the flip side. Y'all have a good night now.